3 businesses kids ran in their school. 1, at this person's middle school, there was a kid that sold dumb lollipops. Well, this kid would just carry them around in a shopping bag at school and sell them for $1 each. He kept that business going for a pretty long time and he made like $200. Not bad for a kid. Number 2, this high school made homemade cookies. She would bring them to school and charge people $1 a cookie. Yes, business was booming. People loved these cookies. Apparently, she was a pretty good baker, but the school didn't like this, so they said that she could not sell cookies to people anymore. But these cookies were so dang good that they found a loophole. Students would give her money for no reason, and then she, the next day, would give them cookies for no reason. Feel me? And she kept that business going throughout her entire high school career. And lastly, at this one elementary school, there was a kid that wanted to make a couple extra dollars for ice cream. So one morning, she went into her grandma's bedroom and stole a bunch of her grandma's jewelry. She took that jewelry to school, and during recess that day on the playground, she would sell her grandma's jewelry. Now obviously these kids didn't have a lot of money. So for example, she sold her grandma's engagement ring for 50 cents. Eventually, these teachers saw what was going on and put a stop to this immediately. They tried to get back all of this grandma's jewelry. Obviously the grandma wasn't too happy, but that kid had quite the entrepreneurial spirit. Gotta respect the hustle. When this guy was a kid, he went to a private school, and that school had a bunch of strict, stupid rules. No phones were allowed at all, you had to wear a uniform every day, and if you were ever caught with coffee or energy drinks, you would be sent to the principal's office, and your parents would have to come pick you up. There was a locker right next to his that nobody used. He bought 5 cases of Monster and Red Bull energy drinks, and he would store them in that extra locker. He would sell those energy drinks to students for $3 a pop, and business was absolutely booming. Just 3 weeks after he started this business and $400 in profit later, he was caught, and he was suspended for 2 days. He laid low for a few months, but after a while, the need for money in business started coming back, so he started it back up again. But this time, he was very careful. In total, he made $1,300. He bought himself a motorcycle. This kid got blamed for something he didn't do. This one day at this one high school, during their free period, a kid was eating lunch outside by the football field, while a couple of students were kicking and throwing around a football. This kid, let's call him Steven, was sitting nearby. He wasn't playing, he was just eating his lunch. Suddenly, go long! Crash. One of the football players accidentally threw the football at the school window and it shattered. A teacher comes sprinting out of the building. Hey yo, who threw that? Everyone's frozen. Then one kid pointed to Steven. It was him. He kicked it. What? I wasn't even playing. But the teacher was already on the walkie-talkie. We got a broken window. Student responsible has been identified. Come with me. Steven is dragged to the office. They pull up security footage, but the camera angle cuts off right before the area where Steven was eating and they were playing, so it was useless. So, they just take the other kid's word for it. Steven gets 2 days of in-school suspension, and he has to pay $147 to fix the window. And the worst part? 2 weeks later, the kid that blamed him brags about it in the locker room. Yeah, I just didn't want to get in trouble and Steven was sitting there anyway. It was perfect. One kid heard it, went to the office to tell the principal. You'd think they would apologize, right? Nope. They just said, yeah, well, the case has already been handled. It's done, so nothing to do about it now. But thanks for letting me know, man. And that's the dumbest reason I've seen anybody get into trouble ever. Justice for Steven, man. That ain't right. Another stupid school rule. And this one's absolutely ridiculous. This kid's 8th grade teacher had one dumb, crazy rule. You were only allowed to use the bathroom 3 times per semester. Not 3 times per week, not 3 times per month, 3 times per semester. And if you hit that limit, too bad. One day this kid raised his hand. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? The teacher sighed. You've already gone 3 times. Well, I drank a bunch of water today like a human being and I have to go to the bathroom. Well, that's too bad. You should have planned better. Hold it. This dude was absolutely fuming, and he said screw it. A few minutes later, he stood up and walked towards the door. Excuse me, where do you think you're going? The bathroom. If you leave this classroom, you will be sitting in detention, young man. He paused, looked back at her and said, that's fine. I'd rather sit in detention than sit in my own piss. And he walked out. The entire class erupted. Oh, nice! The teacher was speechless. She even started crying a little bit. After that day, the school forced her to change that bathroom rule, and they launched an investigation into her teaching methods, as they should. This one kid had hundreds and hundreds of zip ties, and every day he would zip tie a bunch of people's stuff to different things, like backpacks to desks, lunch boxes to railings, belt loops to chairs, and people were getting so pissed, and they wanted revenge. So what this kid did was he sold them zip ties. Business was booming because he did this to a lot of people. They bought zip ties from him and got him back. And once they were all done getting revenge on him, they started doing it to other people. And then those people wanted revenge on them, so they bought zip ties from him. He made hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and he had a lot of returning customers. Nice. Yo, this dude is sus. Okay, so at this one person's high school, there was this dude, and everyone called him Crazy Leo. He was like 6 feet tall, he acted and said weird stuff all the time, and he had crazy eyes. Well, the girl that shared this story said that one day, in chemistry lab, Crazy Leo came up very close behind her. Immediately, she was sussed out. I mean, Crazy Leo was acting freaking crazy. Well, he then asks her this. Can I have one of your hairs? What? Can I have one of your hairs? Sure, fine, take it. Thank you. She said yes just to get him to leave her alone, and he plucked a hair straight out of her head. Once he got the hair, he walked away back to his seat. He then turned on the Bunsen burner in front of him, lit the hair on fire, and inhaled the fumes. Good old Crazy Leo. Businesses kids ran in their school. When this kid was in 5th grade, his parents always bought packets of those Mini Bites muffins, which personally I love. But for some reason, these muffins made this kid's throat hurt. But no matter how many times he told his parents, they still continued to buy those muffins. Every day, this kid's parents would put a pack of those muffins in his lunchbox, and every day during lunch, he would throw those muffins away because he did not like them, like I said. Well, one day a kid saw him throwing those away. Hey bro, why are you throwing those away? He said, I don't like them at all. They make my throat hurt, but my parents keep buying them, so I just throw them away. Well, that's when this kid said, dude, those are awesome. Why would you throw them away? I bet you many kids would buy those. And he got an idea. He soon started selling them. He began asking his parents to give him 2 for lunch every day instead of 1. And he gathered a bunch up. His parents had to start buying more boxes of these muffins because they thought their kid loved them. But little did they know, he was gathering a stockpile of these muffins up in his locker so he could sell them to students. And that's exactly what he did. He sold them to students, sometimes for $2 a bag, sometimes for $5 a bag. Sometimes, depending on how desperate somebody was, he would sell it for $15 a bag. And he ran this business for a few years. He kept a notebook of how much he made. And from 5th grade until the end of middle school, he made around $3,500. Gotta respect the hustle. The Haunting of Maple Street. As Halloween approached, the neighborhood of Maple Street buzzed with excitement and a hint of fear. For years, children shared stories of the old Jenkins house. Jenkins' house was the creepiest, oldest house on the street that had been abandoned for decades. Mysteriously, the house remained untouched since the day Mrs. Jenkins was found dead inside. Well, on Halloween night, the neighborhood was buzzing with anticipation. Everybody was out trying to get their candy. Well, 3 friends, Jess, Sam, and Lucy, were walking by the old Jenkins house. But to their surprise, there was a flickering, creepy-looking sign on the front yard that said trick or treat. Oh, we shouldn't go up there, you guys. You heard those stories, right? Yeah, something doesn't feel right about this. Oh, shut up. Those stories are fake. I want my candy. Let's go. The door creaked open. There was an older lady standing there. A trick or treat? The old woman slowly turned her head up and said, treat? Or trick? The 3 kids ran away in complete fright. The sound of laughter echoed the streets. The old Jenkins house came alive once more that Halloween. And those 3 kids never forgot what happened on that doorstep. Ketchup on Chicken Tender Day is an absolute necessity, and my school has plenty of ketchup packets, especially on Chicken Tender Day. Well, I really needed to make some money to pay for that new Skibbity toilet plushie to add to my collection. Oh yeah. So on Chicken Tender Day, I went to the cafeteria right before lunch, and I took every single ketchup packet and shoved them into my backpack. Then I stood by the ketchup table holding a large ketchup bottle of my own. My plan was in full effect.
Oh my gosh, where's all the ketchup? I can't have my chicken tenders without ketchup.
Yeah, it turns out the school's all out of ketchup today.
Aw, man.
I actually have a full bottle of ketchup right here. I can give you a few squirts.
Oh my god, amazing. Thank you so much.
That'll be $1 for 1 squirt.
$1 per squirt? The school's ketchup's free.
Well, the school doesn't have any ketchup right now, do they?
Fine, I'll take it. Here's $1.
Thank you. Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Tell your friends.
Alright, who's next?
Today's gonna be a good day. Listen to this. This guy said that he recently graduated high school, and it was his 18th birthday. His parents took him on a cruise. Alright, son, for your graduation and for your 18th birthday, we are going on a cruise. Happy birthday, son. Oh my god, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. How long is the cruise? It's a week-long cruise. Now, none of them have ever been on a cruise before. But this kid had friends who went on, so he knew what to expect. So he told his parents, alright, mom, dad, I was doing some research. Cruises are different than regular vacations, okay? We have to follow the schedule, especially when we're on the excursions on the islands. Can we do that? Yeah, son, of course we can. Yeah, son, of course. Honey, please. Okay. Well, it was 2 days into the cruise and the ship had stopped at an island. This kid's parents were shopping and bargaining with locals. They were having a good time, but it was time to head back to the ship. Oh my gosh, you guys, we better head back to the ship now. Hold on, son, I'm talking to this man. I'll give you $20 for the backpack. Fine, I'm heading back. He gets on and the boat immediately takes off. Without his parents. They were mad. I cannot believe you. Thanks for ruining our vacation. They had to then book and take a flight to the next island to catch up with the ship. They didn't talk to him for the rest of the trip. They blame him for not making the boat wait for them, which is absolutely bogus. Okay, so this is crazy. It was pizza day at this one dude's high school. He took a bite of his pizza and it tasted nasty. Here's the pizza in question. But he noticed on the bottom of the slice of pizza there was this weird stuff on there. Now, it could have been just the flour or the powdery part of the crust, but he was still skeptical. So he brought this slice of pizza to his science teacher. And the science teacher tested it. And guess what? That stuff is mold. W teacher, L school. This guy was angry for years. We're gonna call him Patrick. Well, 29 years ago, when Patrick was in 3rd grade, he was sitting at a lunch table with some other kids. In the middle of lunch, Patrick pulls out a small bag of carrots. That's when another kid, let's call him Jimmy, looks at him and says, "Look everyone, Patrick's a carrot boy." And for some reason, that incident really stuck with him. Nobody ever brought it up again. All throughout high school and into adulthood, he built up this anger, this raging anger. And whenever he ate carrots, the memory would pop up. Carrot boy! Well, a year or two ago, as a full-grown adult, there's an impromptu high school reunion. He decided to go. He gets there, he has a few drinks, he eats some food, but that's when he notices Jimmy. I don't know. That old anger welled up. That's when he saw a plate of carrots sitting out. He grabs the plate of carrots, he ran over to Jimmy, and... I guess I'm still carrot boy, huh? I'm still carrot boy? Bro, you good? What are you talking about? Carrot boy, remember? You called me carrot boy and you were all laughing at me in 3rd grade? Guess I'm still carrot boy. I'm sorry? I mean, I don't know what to say. They had all forgotten about it. 7 of his old classmates unfriended him on Facebook, and Jimmy blocked him on everything. This dude had a super weird experience at a friend's house. This kid said he used to hang out at a friend's place after school. Nice house, quiet neighborhood, totally normal. But every time he walked in that house, the mom would always say the exact same thing. Shoes off, kids, and don't touch the walls. Now at first, this kid thought that this lady was just a clean freak. Until one day, when he leaned on a wall, barely. She came around the corner instantly, like she'd been watching. She didn't yell, she didn't get mad, she just handed him a paper towel and pointed at the spot. Wipe it until it's gone, please. The weird part? There was nothing on the wall. No smudge, no print, no mark, but he just wiped it anyway. What is going on? Later that night, he asked his friend what that was all about. Yo, what was that all about? His friend just said, she thinks that walls remember everything. Like if you touch a wall or lean on it, you leave a piece of yourself behind. Your mom's nuts. Whatever, he went home and he just tried to forget about that weird moment, but a week later, he heard that his friend's house had been repainted. The entire interior. When he asked his friend what the reason was, his friend replied, "My mom said too many people touched the walls, so she repainted it to give the house a fresh start." Bro, what? That mom might need a little help. Okay. One day, this class had a brand new substitute teacher. Nobody had ever seen him before. He just walked in, slammed his briefcase down, and said, "I don't care what you do, just, try to be quiet, okay?" Bad move on his part. because the second he said that, all hell broke loose. Two kids started playing Uno across their desks while one filmed the thing like it was a documentary. Some kid in the back just stood up and left. He didn't even try to sneak out, he just walked out the door. And the sub did nothing. At some point, this kid named Marcus stood up and started teaching the class. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to care for an axolotl. And the sub just nodded like he was fine with it. That's when a couple students who were sitting near the front row grabbed the substitute's briefcase and opened it. Inside was nothing. No papers, no lesson plans, no pens, nothing. That's when the sub looked at the class, nodded, and said, "All right, see ya." And then he left. Everyone was like, what the heck just happened? No one knew who he was, where he came from, or why he was there in the first place. But I bet you that day in class was the funnest ever. So, at this one middle school, they had a rule that was no talking before class. The rule was, as soon as you stepped into the classroom, you had to be completely silent until the lesson started. No whispering, no greeting, nothing. Now, at first, this sounds kinda reasonable, right? Well, there was this one teacher that took this rule completely too far. In that class, one time, a kid sneezed and said, "Excuse me." He got a detention. Another kid dropped his pencil, his friend picked it up and said, "Here." That kid also got a detention. And one time, the teacher wasn't even in the room yet and a kid coughed too loud that she heard it in the hallway, boom, detention. And if the teacher walked in and somebody was actually having a full-blown conversation, they wouldn't just get in trouble, the entire class would. Like, I'm sorry, is this school or solitary confinement? That's messed up. What's wrong with parents? This lady said that when she was growing up, she had 3 brothers. She was the only girl in the family. For some reason, her mom just didn't like her, I guess. She would always say things like, "My focus is on raising my boys. I love my boys. I love your brothers so much, and I don't love you." Which is, yeah, what the hell is her problem? But that was her reality. She started saying this stuff to her at the age of 8 years old. And growing up, she never got a birthday party once. But all 3 of her brothers got birthday parties every year, and they were huge. When she turned 16 years old, during one of her brother's birthday parties, she blew up on her mother and left. Before that party started, she had recorded her mom saying messed up stuff to her. And right before she left, she played that video on the TV in front of her entire family. I don't know what you want from me. My focus is on raising my boys. I love your brothers so much. I don't love you. I love your brothers so much. Those are my boys, but I definitely don't love you. So now everyone knows what went on behind closed doors. After that day, she'd never talked to her mom ever again. This mom is the worst. When this kid was in middle school, his mom one day forced him to give all of his Pokemon cards to his cousins. These weren't just regular Pokemon cards. These were 1999 Pokemon cards with a few first edition holographics. So imagine that today. How much money would that be? A crap ton. Well, 3 weeks after he was forced to give his cousins these cards, he was at their house for a birthday party, and he wanted to check on those cards himself. He went into their room and looked around. That's when he saw a box, and in that box were the Pokemon cards. Torn up, spit on, chewed up, these cards were completely destroyed. He said he never forgave his mom for that, and recently he has shown his mom how much those cards could have gone for, and needless to say, she knows how bad she messed up. This kid cheated on his tests in a genius way. So at his high school, whenever they took a test in a specific class, they would grade all the tests as a class. So you would be grading your own paper, but the teacher would make sure that you only had a red pen at your desk. So when you were grading your own paper, you could only use a red pen. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He never studied for tests. He said he didn't really want to. So what he did in this class was he took his red pen, opened it up, took out the red ink pen thing, and replaced that with a black ink pen thing. Looks like a red pen, but it's actually black. So when the teacher is giving out the answers and the students are grading their tests in the red pen, this guy would be fixing everything he got wrong. And it would look like he was grading his test, when in reality, he was changing his answers. He said this worked every single time, and he got an A on every single test in that class. "Hey, what's up, Dad? Hey there, son, how was school?" "It was fine. Got a lot of homework to do, but how was work?" "Ugh, not one customer today. I made 0 money, but that's not your problem. Don't worry about it." Okay. Yeah, that sucks. My dad owns his own tire shop, but it's super slow. He's been very sad. So I had an idea. That next morning before school, I went into my garage and I got every single sharp nail I could find and I shoved them into my backpack. I then rode my bike to the neighborhood by my dad's shop and I threw nails all over the streets. Tons of them. "Hey, what's up, Dad?" "Oh, hey, son, how was school?" "That was pretty good, man. How was work?" So many customers today. There was a line down the block. Apparently everyone blew their tires out this morning or something. I was very busy. It was a good day. That's good to hear, Dad. I'm really happy for you. When this kid was in middle school, he would make these things all the time. They were called paper wasps. These folded pieces of paper you put in a rubber band and you shoot them at people. Well, this kid would occasionally sneak up on his friends and attack them with his paper wasps. And yes, they hurt very bad. But nobody ever got back at him because for some reason, his paper wasps were far superior than anybody else's. So this kid got an idea. He started making tons and tons of paper wasps. His secret in making his paper wasps was using the right amount of paper. And after it was done and folded, he would staple the tip. The staple was used solely to increase pain on impact. Well, business was absolutely booming. The kid was pretty much an arms dealer at his school. Eventually, because of his business, full-blown battles were happening throughout the school day every single day. He was eventually shut down, but in total, he made over $400. This hungry college student accidentally built a $200 million empire. So this guy, Seth Berkowitz, was in college back in 2003, and one night he was craving cookies. Nice, warm cookies. But there was a problem. He didn't have a car, and nobody delivered cookies that late. So he took matters into his own hands. He baked a batch himself. He tried it, and they were pretty dang good. And he figured other students probably craved the same thing late at night. So he started selling them. At first, it was a simple side hustle. He would take orders, bake these cookies in his tiny dorm kitchen, and deliver them himself around campus until 2 a.m. Baby, word spread pretty fast. By 2004, he had so many orders that he had to rent out a real kitchen, hire some help, and turn this into a full-on business. And let me tell you, business was absolutely booming. And what started as a small campus gig turned into something he could have never imagined. By 2018, his company, Insomnia Cookies, had over 260 locations across the United States, Canada, and the UK. That same year, Krispy Kreme bought a majority stake in that company for around $140 million. And today, Insomnia Cookies is worth over $200 million. And this started all because this dude wanted a snack back in 2003. That's absolutely insane. This kid's parents are crazy for this, so this guy said that on his 5th birthday, he woke up very excited for the day. He was hyped, he was bouncing off the walls, and his parents were obviously irritated. But instead of sucking it in and letting their son have a great 5th birthday, this is what they did. They made him get into the car, told him that, "Well, we're just getting some ice cream, son. I love ice cream." And they drove off. But they didn't go get ice cream. Instead, the parents drove this kid to the local orphanage and said this to him. "You see this, son? It's an orphanage. You can either choose to behave, or we're dropping you off here right now." "What? No, no." "Get out of the car then. Get out of the car." "No, I'll behave. They then went back home and told the kid to go to his room. And that's where he spent the rest of his birthday. In his room, crying by himself. Black markets kids ran in their schools. So this kid's business started when Prime came out, and everybody wanted to get their hands on some. Well, he was the same. He looked online, he tried to find some to buy, and he was able to get some from a local store for a decent price, so he bought a bunch. One day he came to school with $120 worth of Prime, and students were swarming him. Everyone wanted to buy this product. Business was absolutely booming, and this kid was incredibly hyped. That first day, he sold $220 worth of Prime. That's $100 profit. Business kept like this for a while. He was making decent profit, he was selling a ton of Prime bottles, and students were happy. Well, there was one student whose mom worked for the school, and the student told his mom what this kid was doing, selling Prime and making money. When this kid found out that he was snitched on, he thought he was going to get in trouble, suspended, something like that, but that is not what happened. Instead, the school concession stand started selling Prime as well. Thing is, the school concession stand was open all day long, whereas this kid had to sell his Prime at recess or lunch only. So it was an unfair advantage. So now this kid is in competition with the school, and he's selling his Prime for less. But he's still making profit because he has some exclusive flavors that the school doesn't have. But still, this kid is struggling to keep up because of their unfair advantage of them being open all day long. This story was sent to me almost a year ago, and at the end of it, he asked if anybody had any advice on how he could revive his business and continue to make profit. Well, I'm sorry, my friend, for seeing this so late, but I hope it all worked out. Gotta respect the hustle. Morning, sweetie, how'd you sleep? Well, I had a dream that something terrible was gonna happen at the school dance on Friday. Well, that's just a nightmare, baby. Eat your yogurt. I put pineapple in there. Oh, yummy pineapple. I'm actually not hungry, Mom. I'm going to school. Morning, bro. What's up, man? Nothing, dude. Who's that? Oh, that's Greg and Marissa. They're a year ahead of us. Oh, okay. You good, bro? I'm going to class. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to do this equation. It's 7 plus pineapple is 16 plus pineapple is 40. Johnny! You will die on Friday. What did you just say? No sleeping in my class. Pay attention. I gotta go. Something horrible is going to happen on Friday. Hey, come with us. We'll explain everything. What the? No one's buying my bags of chips. I bought so much to sell at school today, but I haven't sold one. Bro, it's because everyone goes to the vending machine. Are your chips cheaper than the vending machine? No, man, they're more expensive. I'm trying to make bank. No, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Fine, man. Hold on. I have an idea. Hello, vending machine, my enemy. Shut your mouth. I'm gonna unplug you. Oh, I'm gonna unplug you. And now I wait.
Excuse me, I just want to get to the vending machine.
Unfortunately, it's out of order. It's not working.
Oh, really? I wanted some barbecue chips so bad.
You're in luck today. I actually have a bag full of chips for sale. $4.
$4? The vending machine's only $2.
Well, the vending machine isn't working, is it?
Fine, I'll take them. Here.
And here you go. Tell your friends. Today's gonna be a good day. This kid's mom is sus. The person that shared this story said that his friend's mom wouldn't let them watch SpongeBob. Hey, we should watch some SpongeBob. No. My mama gets so mad. Dude, she's in the other room. Like, it's just SpongeBob. She's not gonna get that mad. They're watching SpongeBob. No. Patrick is such an idiot. What are you doing? Oh my god, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're just watching SpongeBob. It's not a big deal. SpongeBob is not allowed in our house. Kyle, go home now. But now. Okay. And you get upstairs right now. Bring your Bible and the rosary. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. Dear God. Why was she so against SpongeBob, you ask? It's because she thought the holes on SpongeBob's body would induce evil, sinful, and dirty thoughts.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, prank man?
কে?
একটু হলেই তো তোমার ফোন হাওয়া হয়ে যেত।
তুই তোর ফোন আর কোনোদিন পাবি না।
কেন?
তোর বাবা তো তোর ফোনটাকে একদম আছাড় দিয়ে ভেঙে শেষ, এমনকি পানিতে চুবাইছে।
আউট অফ কিউরিওসিটি হয়তো দেখা করব, বাট আই এম নট দ্যাট মাচ ইজি। অলওয়েজ রিমেম্বার।
আজকে যদি তারাটা থাকতো আজকে তো দিতাম একদম। এই খালি স্কার্টেন গার্ডেন।
এই যে আপু, এসব গার্ডেন ফার্ডেন যায় না, আমার ভাই ব্রাদাররা আছে, আপনার একদম কামড়ায় দিবে। না ব্রো, এই যে আপনার ফোন প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল ব্রো, চিল। রাকিব ভাই, আপনি এসআই রাকিব ভাই না? আপনার কথা আমি অনেক শুনছি। আপনি কিন্তু মানে বুঝের লোক। টেজে তোলেন।
এই হোসেন আলী, ক্যামেরা আগেই কইছিলাম আমার বস ফেমাস। হ্যাঁ ভাই একটু যেতে ধরতে।
হ্যাঁ শিওর।
তো কিভাবে যে কনফার্ম হয়?
এটা তো এদিকে না, 3 নাম্বার গেট ওইদিকে, শঙ্কর গলি বোধহয় গেটের বাইরে। আপনি ভুল আসছেন, যান।
ভুল আসছে? কিন্তু আমি কি চিনতে পারবো?
ও আচ্ছা, আপনি দ্যাট বোরখা গার্ল।
চিনতে পেরেছো তাহলে না?
আই লাইক গুড গার্লস। ফলো কর, যা। এতে কই যায় দেখবি, যা। সারা জীবনে প্রথম কাউরে প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে যায়, নিজেই আজকে প্র্যাঙ্ক হয়ে গেল।
তুমি আমাকে বলেছো যে তুমি তোমার কোনো বয়ফ্রেন্ড নাই।
না বয়ফ্রেন্ড না, আমি ওর বয়ফ্রেন্ড, আমি ওর ফিয়ান্সে। ওর সাথে আমার বিয়ে নেক্সট।
ও আচ্ছা।
আমার জন্য?
এটা তোমার জন্য। একটা নতুন ফোন দিলাম।
এই জন্য তাহলে তোমরা এতক্ষণ নাটক করছো?
নাটক না, তোমার ফোনটা পুরনো হয়ে গেছে।
কেন?
নতুন ফোন।
আমরা প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে পারি না?
একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা ছিল তোমার সাথে। এমন করলে কেমন হয়? যদি এই এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট জার্নিতে আমি জয়েন করি তোমার সাথে?
যে ফোন আমার ছেলের লাইফস্টাইল নষ্ট করে সে ফোন আমি রাখবো না, এটাই আমার সিদ্ধান্ত বাবা। তোমাকে এবার আমাদের মতো করে চলতে হবে, ইউটিউবের ভিউ দিয়ে আমাদের খেতে হবে না।
সো আমি যার সাথে দেখা করতে যাচ্ছি সে যদি স্ট্রেট ফরওয়ার্ড না হয়, তাহলে তার খবরই আছে।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ভাই, আমি যাচ্ছি, এদেরকে ছাড়েন, আমি উঠতেছি। ভাই আমার ভক্তকুল কিন্তু আপনার থানা ঘেরাও করে ফেলবে। ওকে, নো ওয়ারিজ, আমি আবার এসব বিষয়ে অনেক উদার। চলো,
ওকে, লেটস ডু ইট টুগেদার।
বাই, টাটা।
পেয়ে গেলাম মানে এই যে আমরা একজন একজনের সামনাসামনি চোখাচোখি মুখোমুখি, আমি তোমাকে ধরতে পারতেছি, ফিল করতে পারছি।
ও ভাইয়া, প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল।
ও প্র্যাঙ্ক, ওকে ওকে, চালিয়ে যান, ক্যারি অন।
নাদিম শুনো,
মাঝখানে ফোকাস ছিল না, ডিফোকাস হয়ে গেছে, এই সেই। তুই এটা কোন লেন্স ইউজ করিস?
টেলি লেন্স।
কত?
কেউ যে 50-50।
শোনো, আমি বলছি পসিবল, তাহলে কিন্তু এই যে গরম কফি গায়ে ঢেকে দেবো। বলো পসিবল?
ওকে ফাইন, পসিবল।
এই মেয়ে লোকটাকে তুই বিয়ে করতে পারবি?
টিন্ডার থেকে তুমি এর আগে আর কারোর সাথে কফি ডেট করেছো আমি ছাড়া?
হোয়াট? আমাকে কি দেখে মনে হয় চিপ? আমি এক্সক্লুসিভ ভার্সন, ওকে? আই এম নট অ্যাভেলেবল। কি ছিল? কি ছিল?
প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, বিশেষ হচ্ছে না এই যে
Prank
আই সুইট, ওই যে দেখেন মনোপড নিয়ে দাঁড়ায় আছে, এই যে আরেকজন ইফতে, এই শিখেছি ধরে 50 কি টেলিলেন্স নাকি? 85 ইউজ করবি, দরকার পড়লে তোর আমি 70-200 কিনা দিব।
তুই টেনশন করিস না, হ্যাঁ?
কোনো চোর না, চুরি না, ডাকাতি না, এটা প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, টোটালি প্র্যাঙ্ক। প্র্যাঙ্ক শিখাইছে উস্তাদ। কেমন হলো প্র্যাঙ্ক?
ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নেই, কোনো কথা, তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
ঈশান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না। সুন্দর মতো যাবি, ভাবির নামটা জিজ্ঞাবি, আর শোন ভালো মতো কথা কবে, ভাবি লাগে খালি থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, এই বাদে আর কিছু পাচ্ছস? বুকিং মানে বুকিং, তুমি আমার আমি তোমার, বুকিং দিয়ে দিছি, ফাইনাল।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত?
তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না রক্তটা দিবি তুই?
আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত
আমার বন্ধু দিছেন আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসি ভাবি, আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধে হতে দিবেন না ভাবি।
This kid's mom is sus. The person that shared this story said that his friend's mom wouldn't let them watch SpongeBob. Hey, we should watch some SpongeBob. No. My mama gets so mad. Dude, she's in the other room. Like, it's just SpongeBob. She's not gonna get that mad. They're watching SpongeBob. Patrick is such an idiot. What are you doing? Oh my god, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're just watching SpongeBob. It's not a big deal. SpongeBob is not allowed in our house. Kyle, go home now. But now. Okay. And you, get upstairs right now. Bring your Bible and the rosary. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. Dear God. Why was she so against SpongeBob, you ask? It's because she thought the holes on SpongeBob's body would induce evil, sinful, and dirty thoughts.